Let me show you my plan to make $1 million per year, and even more. Look, I get it. The idea of making $1 million in a year sounds crazy. Most people would think it's impossible, or that you need some special connections or a trust fund to make it happen. But none of that is true. I'm going to break down the exact process I used to go from broke to making upwards of $2,000 per day. And I'm not talking about some get-rich-quick scheme like so many gurus are promoting. This is about understanding the real math between wealth creation and following a proven process that actually works. When I was growing up, money was always tight. My dad worked as a nurse and my mom as a nursing assistant. We weren't poor, but we definitely weren't rich either. I remember watching my parents stress about bills and thinking, there has to be a better way. That's why I became obsessed with finding a path to financial freedom. I didn't want to struggle like my parents did. I wanted control over my life and my time. I wanted to build something that could generate wealth without trading hours for dollars. And I also wanted to be able to provide an amazing quality of life for my loved ones. Now, I'm going to be real with you. My journey wasn't smooth. Back in high school, between 2018 and 2019, I tried dropshipping with a friend. We got our first sale within 30 minutes of launching our ad campaign. That was amazing. But here's the thing. We ran out of money for ads, so we couldn't scale. We ended up losing money instead of making it. And that failure hit me hard in the gut. We had the proof that our product could sell. The first order came in so fast, but we didn't have the capital to keep the momentum going. And it was super frustrating to see that potential slip through our fingers because of something as simple as a lack of cash flow. After that business, I tried every online business model I could find. Affiliate marketing, print on demand, you name it. Nothing stuck. I was frustrated and ready to quit. Each new attempt would start with excitement and end with disappointment. I began to wonder if I was just not cut out for entrepreneurship. But everything changed when I discovered high-ticket offers. That's when I finally started seeing success in 2022. I began helping agency owners, coaches, and consultants get more leads and booked calls. And that's when things really took off. The reason most people fail at building wealth isn't because they're not working hard enough. It's because they're focusing on the wrong math. What I really want you to understand is that business is just mathematics. What's amazing with understanding this concept is that once you see business as math, everything becomes clear. It's not mysterious, it's not complex, it's just numbers. When you know your numbers, you know your strategy. And when you know your strategy, you can execute with confidence. Now, unfortunately, we're not allowed to share everything on YouTube, which is why I've recorded a free video to show you how I made over $1,000 a day in profit from my laptop. And right now, we're also offering a few free consultation calls with me or my team to help you come up with a game plan to reach financial freedom in 90 days or less using the PTP method. Now, I highly suggest you click the link in the description below when you're done watching this video. But be quick, because spots feed up extremely fast and soon we'll be forced to take the video down. Every successful business follows the same formula. Revenue minus expenses equals profit. And becoming a millionaire isn't about guessing or hoping. It's about reverse engineering your targets with proven numbers. Let me break this down in super simple terms. There are two main paths to making money online: low margin and high margin business models. First, let's look at business models like dropshipping. This is a low margin business, typically around 5 to 20% profit. That means for every $100 in sales, you're only keeping $5 to $20. The rest goes to product costs, shipping, platform fees, returns, and all those other expenses that eat away at your profits. Let's say your goal is to make $10,000 in profit through dropshipping with a 5% margin. How much revenue would you need? You would need to generate $200,000 in revenue. That's 10,000 divided by 0.05. Now, if your average sale is $50, you would need 4,000 sales to hit that revenue target. 4,000 sales. That's a lot of customers to find, isn't it? That's a lot of marketing, a lot of customer service, and a lot of potential headaches. What if your margin was better, like 20%? Then you would need $50,000 in revenue to make $10,000 profit. With the same $50 average sale, that's 1,000 sales. It's better, but it still requires a lot of work. This is why so many beginners struggle with dropshipping and other low margin models. The math just doesn't work in your favor unless you can do massive volume. And doing massive volume is incredibly challenging, especially when you're just starting out with limited resources. Now let's look at the high ticket model, where profit margins can reach up to 95%. Using the same example of wanting to make $10,000 in profit with a 95% margin, you would only need about $10,500 in revenue. If your high-ticket offer is priced at $2,000, that means you only need about 6 sales to hit your profit target. 6 sales versus 1,000 or 4,000 sales. Which sounds easier to you? The difference is night and day. And this is why I tell everyone that if you want to build wealth fast, you need to focus on high-margin businesses. It's not just about making money. It's about keeping the money by focusing on high-margin transactions. I remember when I was struggling to make my first dollar online. My mom would ask me over lunch how my business was doing. I didn't have any success or clients, but I kept telling her I was doing what it takes and that it was going to work out. Deep down, I was terrified that I was just wasting my time, that maybe I should just get a normal job like everyone else. But something inside me knew there was a better way, and I couldn't give up on finding it. Then came the day I signed my first high-ticket client for more than $1,000. I ran to show my mother the notification on my phone. You've received $1,000. The look of pride on her face and shock made all the sacrifices worth it. All those late nights, all that self-doubt, all the friends who thought I was crazy, in that moment, it all made sense. And not even 5 days later, I got another client who paid me even more. The cycle just kept going from there. What had seemed impossible just months before suddenly became my reality. And it wasn't because I got lucky. It was because I finally understood the right path to focus on. So how do you do this? Let me walk you through the exact step-by-step process. Stage 1 is all about proving your concept. You need to validate that people will actually pay for what you're offering. A lot of people make the mistake of building a product or service first and then trying to find customers. That's backwards. Instead, create compelling content that showcases your knowledge. Use this content to build trust and to establish yourself as someone who can solve specific problems. This could be YouTube videos, LinkedIn posts, Instagram content, whatever platform makes the most sense for your target audience. The key here is to focus on providing genuine value. Don't hold back your best insights or strategies. Share them freely. The more you give, the more people will trust you and see you as an authority. Then, use appointment setting strategies to get your first client. This could be as simple as ending your content with a call to action. If you'd like help implementing these strategies in your business, I have 3 spots available for one-on-one coaching this month. Click the link below to book a call. The best part about this approach is that you're selling before you build. You're validating your offer in the market before investing too much time or money. That way, you avoid building something that nobody actually wants to buy. You don't need a fancy website, a professional logo, or business cards. You just need to prove that someone will pay you to solve their problem. That's it. When I had no clear process to follow, I'd always procrastinate. I'd end up binge watching YouTube videos or movies because I didn't know what to do next. I lacked clarity, and that's why I couldn't be disciplined no matter how hard I tried. But once I figured this process, everything changed. I had a roadmap. I knew exactly what to do each day. I focused on creating valuable content, putting it out into the world, and inviting people to work with me. The simplicity of this approach was actually its strength. What works is often the simplest thing. Stage 2 is what I call grind mode. This is where you're making between $2,000 and $10,000 per month. During this stage, you're building on what works. You're refining your offer, your messaging, and your sales process based on real feedback from paying clients. This is when you start developing systems. How do you onboard clients? How do you deliver results? How do you handle support? You need to document these processes so that they become repeatable and eventually scalable. Track your metrics closely. How many people are seeing your content? How many are booking calls? How many are becoming clients? When you know these numbers, you can identify exactly where you need to improve. If a lot of people are seeing your content, but few are booking calls, you need to work on your call to action. If people are booking calls but not becoming clients, you need to improve your sales conversion. By tracking these metrics, you turn business growth from a mystery into a science. Consistency is absolutely critical during this stage. You need to establish a repeatable process that generates steady monthly revenue. This is the foundation upon which all of your scaling will happen. I remember when I was in this stage, I was working long hours, constantly tweaking my approach, but seeing the money come in regularly was incredibly motivating. Each new client was proof that my system worked, and each client success story became ammunition for attracting the next client. So it creates a virtuous cycle like that. Now, unfortunately, we're not allowed to share everything on YouTube, which is why I've recorded a free video to show you how I made over $1,000 a day in profit from my laptop. And right now, we're also offering a few free consultation calls with me or my team to help you come up with a game plan to reach financial freedom in 90 days or less using the PTP method. Now, I highly suggest you click the link in the description below when you're done watching this video. But be quick, because spots speed up extremely fast and soon we'll be forced to take the video down. Once you've established a consistent income in stage 2, you're ready for stage 3, scaling with ads. This is where things get really exciting. Now that you have a profitable model and client success stories, you can use paid advertising to reach more people. But you're not gambling, you're investing in a proven system. Your goal should be to make at least $2 for every $1 you spend on ads. With high ticket offers, this is absolutely achievable. I've seen returns as high as 5 or 10 to 1. Here's what this looks like in practice. Let's say you spend $1,000 on ads. Those ads generate 10 sales calls. From those 10 calls, you close 2 clients at $2,000 each. That's $4,000 in revenue from a $1,000 ad spend. A 4 to 1 return. What's amazing with paid ads is that you're using profits from existing clients to finance further growth. It's like having an investor for infinite growth. You're not taking on debt or risking your savings. You're building a self-funding growth machine. And because you're leveraging systems and ads rather than your own time, you can scale more or less indefinitely without burning out. Your income isn't limited by the hours in the day anymore. This is how you reach that $1 million goal within 365 days. It's not about working 20 hours a day or getting lucky. It's about understanding the math and following a proven process. Let's do the math together. If you're selling a $2,000 offer with a 90% profit margin, that's $1,800 profit per sale. To reach $1 million in profit, you need about 556 sales over the course of a year. That's less than $2,000 per day. Is getting 2 sales per day difficult? It can be if you're doing everything manually, but with the right systems and ads in place, it's absolutely achievable. The key is to reverse engineer your goals. Start with your target income, understand the profit margins of your business model, and calculate exactly how many sales you need. Then build a system that can deliver those sales consistently. Now, I want to be clear about something. Building an online business isn't about getting rich quick or making easy money. Each stage requires real work and commitment. You will face challenges and setbacks along the way. There will be days when you doubt yourself and your business. But here's the difference between this approach and what most people do. You won't be focused on the right things. You won't be spinning your wheels on low leverage activities or business models with math that simply doesn't add up. You'll have clarity about exactly what you need to do each day to move forward. And that clarity is what allows you to be disciplined and consistent. The 2 qualities that are absolutely essential for success. I went from struggling to make my first dollar to building a profitable business by following this exact process. And if I can do it, someone who grew up with limited resources and no business background, then you can absolutely do it too. Remember, business is just math. Once you understand the numbers, everything else falls into place. Focus on high margin offers. Validate before you build. Establish consistent revenue and then scale with systems and ads. That is the path to $1 million in record time. That's exactly what I'm doing. This isn't about luck or privilege. It's about strategy and execution. And now you have the roadmap. The only question is, what are you going to do with it? Are you going to keep jumping from one business model to another, hoping to eventually strike gold? Or are you going to focus on proven math and follow a step-by-step process that actually works? Are you going to keep telling yourself that becoming a millionaire is just for other people? People with more advantages or opportunities? Or are you going to recognize that wealth creation follows predictable patterns that anyone can learn and apply? The choice is yours. But I can tell you from experience, understanding and applying the right math changes everything. It turns what seems impossible into something inevitable. So start today. Identify a problem you can solve. Create content that demonstrates your knowledge. Set up a system for booking calls. And focus on high margin offers that don't require hundreds or thousands of sales to generate significant profit. Follow the process, trust the math, and a year from now, you could be making the kind of money that changes not only your life, but the lives of the people around you. With that being said, I will see you on the other side.